Hello, welcome to yet another session of Living Word. In today's session, I want us to discuss something that has affected families, colleagues, marriages, in fact, friendships. There are many people that are in jail today because of anger. Anger is an emotion. It's so normal that it's often addressed in the Bible. For today, I want us to look at Ephesians 4, verse 26, and hear what the word is saying. It says, "In your anger, do not sin. Do not let the sun go down while you are still angry." Many people say words that often hurt others while they are still angry. They say these words and they say, "Oh, well, I was too angry. I don't know where that came from. In fact, forgive me. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have." But really, there's something that my life coach once said to me. She said, take, for instance, an orange. No matter how many times you press it, no matter how many times you press it, or press it and press it and press it, whenever you squeeze it, orange juice will come out. Not apple juice, not mango juice, not anything else. The actual contents are what is going to come out. So she said, for example, that's exactly what happens when it comes to us. The words that we say are actually from within. When we are pressed by life situations, when we are under pressure, what actually comes out from your mouth or through your actions is what has been building up from within. It's things that you were afraid to express, but it's your thoughts. How you actually react to a situation is actually what you believe. For instance, let's say someone makes you angry and then you end up swearing at them. It means you have issues, internal issues that need to be fixed. Because you are being squeezed, you are being pressured. So what comes out is actually what has been building up from inside you. So that's why the Bible advises us. It says, in your anger, do not sin. Which means there will be instances where we will get angry, but make sure that you do not sin. So which means becoming angry is normal. So that's why when we read James 1 from verse 18 to 19, the word of God says, be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to anger. Which means even if you do get angry, don't let it be something that you are known for. So many people, while they are angry, while they are in that state of anger, they've actually said words that destroyed others. Words that cannot be taken back. So that's why we are being advised in the Bible that while you are in that state, while you are full of anger, make sure you do not sin. Make sure you do not do things that you cannot now take back. Make sure that your actions are not going to cause harm. Some people, while they were angry, they've killed. Some people, while they were angry, they've actually said things, bad things to their partners, to their children. Especially parents do that to their children. They will say, "You stupid thing, you are good for nothing." And then these words, you cannot take them back. Even if you are now trying to console and tell your child this and that, no, that's not the right way of going about it. You should actually apologize and say, I failed to control my anger. That's why there are anger management classes to help people to channel these emotions. Because anger can be a sign, or it's an outcome of something that is deep-seated. It can be unresolved issues. Some people, you find that while you get to ask further or ask in detail, why are you always angry? You'll find that they will say, oh, well, when I was young, my parents used to shout at me. Oh, yes, when I was young, this and this happened to me. I was raped. I was, actually, I didn't grow up with my parents. Actually, I don't even know my father. You know, there are many reasons why people will be angry. There are even other people who are angry at God. I've actually met this other lady this other time who was saying, I'm angry at God because he took my mother from me. My mother died of cancer while I was 8 years old. And I grew up with this anger, saying, God, how could you allow this? So there are people who are walking around and they are a ticking time bomb. That's why even when we are driving on the roads, we have to be careful because you don't know what people are going through. And as you are, maybe let's say you are driving and then someone sort of like cuts you on the road, be careful how you might be angry, but be careful how you act, because some people can just get out of their car and shoot. If you try and tell them you are wrong to do 1, 2, 3, they'll be like, so what? If you continue to complain, they might shoot you. So that's why it's important for you to know how to channel your anger, how to actually make sure that you don't react without thinking. So I always advise people that whenever you communicate, ask yourself, what I'm saying right now, take it through the filter. Is what I'm saying true? If it passes that, is what I'm saying kind? Make sure it passes that filter. And is what I'm saying necessary? You know, there are sometimes things that are true, but are they kind? You know, your mannerism, your approach to the matter, how we are actually communicating this, is it kind? Also, is it necessary? You know, some things might be true, but are they necessary to point out? So whenever we communicate, let's make sure that we don't hurt people who are around us. You know, in the Word of God, in Proverbs 15, verse 1, the Word of God says, a soft, gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word or a harsh answer is what actually stirs anger. So as we communicate with people, let's make sure that our answers are gentle, because we don't know what people are going through. You might be able to control your emotions, but what about the next person? They might not be able to control their emotions. Back to my life coach again, she once said something so profound. She said, for her, she has actually made sure that she's more aware of her surroundings. And she's aware of her energy level, her frequency, she calls it. So let's say you encounter a situation where someone actually swears at you, maybe calls you with a K word for us who are Black people. What will be your reaction? You know, because some people will actually retaliate and say, well, you called me this, you know, like as if they are always ready ready to act. Let's train our minds to actually focus and do exactly what the word advises. Let's be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to anger. Some people hold on to anger. It's actually their coping mechanism. Other people are even afraid to approach them. They know that once I approach this particular person, they are just gonna crush me with words. Let's use this year, as we are saying, we're having New Year's resolutions, to say, I will actually control my emotions, control my anger. Whenever I find myself in a state of anger, I'm going to make sure that my words are gentle. I must actually make sure it's a decision that each one of us needs to do or needs to take, to say that I will make sure that in my anger, I do not sin. So you find that because of things that were said in anger, there are even people who have not been home for a long time. You know, when we celebrate during the festive season, we say, oh, I'm going home, I'm going to see my family. There are people who are even afraid to go home. They can't, because they've actually closed those doors because of things that were said in anger. There are people who've left churches because of things that were said in anger. There are people who are now sitting without their loved ones, without their kids, because of things that were said in anger. So that's why I urge you today to actually make an intentional decision to say, for me, from today, I'm going to make sure that I avoid acting out of anger. The first murder that is mentioned in the Bible is actually between two brothers, Abel and Cain. Now, when we read in Genesis, you see that it was actually sparked by jealousy. So that's why I'm saying, let's avoid things, or let's avoid putting ourselves in situations that actually shake us, situations that causes us to be angry. And let's be intentional. You know, even at work, even when you are dealing with your colleagues, it's important to actually know that this particular one actually gets on my nerves. Know the triggers and avoid them. In the Bible, we read so much about things that were done in anger. And we also see how anger can actually affect a person. For example, Moses. What a great leader. But he is known for anger. And how, out of anger, this other time, he actually dropped the stones where God had actually written the laws, the commandments. So God had actually written those commandments for him. But when he had to go back the second time, he had to be the one who writes. So you see, because of anger, there are instances or things that we'll end up having to do ourselves, while favor could have taken care of. So as I end this, I'd like us to just reflect a bit on a story that is well known about a prodigal son in the Bible. It's found in Luke 15. You can start from verse 11. This story is well known, but many people just focus on the younger son, the fact that he took all that belonged to him and left and actually spent it carelessly. But I want us to focus on the older son, the fact that when the younger brother came back home and repented, this older son couldn't forgive the younger brother. In fact, the word of God says he became angry when his father invited him to come and celebrate with them. He couldn't. He was holding on to the fact that, no, I feel like he wasted your money while I was here being a good son. He actually doesn't deserve this. So that's the anger that can also come from self-righteousness. When we act as if we are too good of Christians, like, God, why am I experiencing this? I've been serving you. I've been a good Christian. Why am I experiencing this in my marriage? You know, God, I've served you faithfully. Why, like, this self-righteousness can actually cause people to become angry when encountered with situations. When they feel like, no, why should so-and-so actually be getting a promotion, getting that car? I deserve it. I've been good. I've been doing, this self-righteousness can actually cause us to be angry when we see people experiencing things that we think they don't deserve. And we question God. No, Lord, why is so-and-so getting married? She even has a child. I've been sitting here. I'm a virgin. Things like that. Comparison. jealousy, then it sparks up this anger. So even with this older son, he actually was someone who was holding on to grudges. That's what happens sometimes to us as people. We can't forgive. We can't forgive people. When they go and then they're not even, like I've even heard some people saying, well, why is so and so successful? They're not even Christians. Or when we are hurt by someone, we actually wish them bad things. That, because this person left me, or this person divorced me, or this person is no longer in our church, they must experience this and this. Those are actually the sins of the older son. That's how I refer to them. So may we get rid of all this resentment, all this anger, all these grudges, and just forgive. Things happen in our lives because of seasons. The sooner we understand seasons, the better our lives are going to become. We won't be feeling like, oh, well, why is this one experiencing this? Or why is this one getting ahead in life? Or why is this one getting ahead in life instead of me? In fact, even when we read about Joseph, that's what we find, because his brothers couldn't understand. Why is he getting the dreams? Oh, this dreamer. And that's what normally happens in our lives. So that's why I encourage all of you that today, let's make an important decision to say we are not going to be like the older brother who remained a son, but yet did not possess the love that the father had. As we call ourselves Christians, let's also be transformed by the word. Let us have love. Let us forgive. Let us take steps of ensuring that we actually mend those relationships with our parents. We mend those relationships with our friends. We mend those relationships with all those people who could have even hurt us. Let's make sure that we react better in situations. Let's make sure, just like this orange, even if we are squeezed and pressed and under so much pressure, we are slow to become angry. And in our anger, let us not sin. Thank you.